welcome to Ask a Teacher Live. I'm George Trombley, author of Japanese from Zero, and today we will be answering your questions direct from the chat room on yesjapan.com. I've already got 3 really good questions, and we'll probably answer some more if people allow me to answer them. If they give me the questions in a good time frame, I'll go ahead and answer them. Here's the first question. This is from MF God. I'm not sure what that means. MF God. Help me out here. Oh, let me turn that off. Sorry about that. Okay. He asks, he or she, I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl, what is the difference in usage between yaru and suru? Well, that's a huge, huge question. In some cases, yaru and suru are pretty much the same thing. Yaru and suru both mean to do, for example. So you could say, for example, Ashita nani o shimasu ka? Nani o suru no? What are you doing tomorrow? Ashita nani o yaru no? What are you doing tomorrow? Nani o yarimasu ka? So in that aspect they're the same. But if you look up the translation of yaru and suru, you'll also see that they mean play. To play. It's another way of saying play. Saka o yarimasu ka? Do you do soccer? Do you play soccer? Saka o shimasu ka? Do you do or play soccer? Where they vary, let me think about that just for a second. Now I don't know if it's a different kanji or not. I've never really looked it up. It's probably a different verb. But yaru also means to give, but in a very talked down way. Kimi ni yaru yo. I'll give this to you. Dare ni yatta no? Who did you give it to? So yaru can mean give in a sort of a down way. Also, it can be used in combination with verbs. For example, yatte yaru yo. Oh wow, that was a yaru plus yaru. Yatte yaru yo. I'll do it for you. Mite yaru yo. I'll look at it for you. Notice I'm saying it in a rough way because it's never a kind way of saying I'll do something for you. If you're going to do it in a nice way, it would be yatte agemasu, mite agemasu, shite agemasu, ageru. The action goes up to the person. Yaru goes down to the person, where you're looking down from a position of power. But boy, those are pretty much the differences that I can think of. Does anyone want to expound on that in the chat room? And for those of you who would like to join on, in the filming, please join the Twitter, Yes Japan's Twitter, and you'll get notified when we do this. Normally about 3 to 4 hours ahead of the streaming, I'll go ahead and make an announcement. You can come on here and ask questions too. No one has any follow-up on that, so hopefully I answered your question about the difference between yaru and suru. I would say I probably use... I would say yaru is stronger. For example, if I was going to tell my daughter to do her homework, I wouldn't say, shukudai shite. I would say initially, I'd say, shukudai shite ne, do your homework. But if she's not doing it and she's screwing around on YouTube or Facebook, I might say, shukudai yari nasai. Yari nasai. Yatte. That's what you'll hear my wife say. Yatte. Do it. Yatte. She wouldn't say shite. This is not as impactful. All right. Please, I do have 2 more questions I'm going to go through, but if there are other questions that you have here in the chat room, feel free to ask them. The next question is from Sieria. I believe I said that right. Oh, you know what? I put the same question in twice by mistake. So I am going to need another question from you guys. The question from Sieria is, what is the best way to memorize what type of verb or adjective a word is? I can never remember them all. He or she says. It sounds like a girl's name. So there are many types of verbs and many types. There's at least 3 types of verbs and at least 3 types of adjectives. So, for example, you have e-adjectives, what we call e-adjectives, and na-adjectives and noun adjectives. Well, these are actually really, really easy to remember, with a few exceptions. Any adjective that ends in e, for example, atarashii, ends in an e. Itai, hurts, painful, itai. Oishii, which is o-i-shi-i, ending in an e. Aoi, blue. Akai, red. These are what are called e-adjectives, or normal adjectives, which means in Japan you could take that adjective and put it directly in front of something and say, for example, kuroi, which means black, kuroi speaker, black speaker. I can put the adjective ra right in front of this. So if it ends in an e, It's a standard adjective or an E adjective. Kuroi speaker. We could have shiroi iPad. Shiroi iPad. So that is another E adjective. And there's only 6 colors that have an E adjective form. We've got shiroi, aoi, kuroi, akai. Oh, come on, I know it's in there somewhere. Shiroi, akai, kuroi, chairoi, kiroi, aoi. Those are the 6 colors that have E adjectives. The other colors are actually, for example, midori. That's like a noun because it's the color green. It's not an E adjective. It ends in a sound that sounds like an E, midori, but it's actually ending in a ri, not midori-i, right? Midori, it's midori. So you would say midori no kuruma, green car. It's a noun, and to link 2 nouns together, you have to use a no. Midori no kuruma. Now you could take the noun version of any one of the colors. For example, kuro. By the way, this is course 1, lesson 4 of Yes Japan. Kuro means black. It's the color black. If you want to say black speaker, you could say kuro no speaker to mean black speaker. Both kuroi speaker and kuro no speaker both mean the same thing. The other one are not adjectives. These are where a little bit gets a little bit tricky, right? You don't know how if it's a noun or if it's an adjective. Well, if it's not a thing, a person, place, or a thing, then it's not a noun. For example, quiet, shizuka. That's not a noun. It's a description of something. It's quiet. So that's a not adjective. So if you want to say he's a quiet person, you say shizuka na hito desu. What about kind? Shinsetsu. He's a shinsetsu na hito. But there's an E adjective version, yasashii. How would you say he's a kind person? How would you say a kind person? Anyone? There's 2 ways to say it, right? Shinsetsu na hito. You must have the na with an adjective. Or yasashii hito. You just use an actual adjective, an E adjective directly in front of it. So that's sort of how I do it. If it's a person, place, or a thing, and you want to use that item to be a descriptive word, you must connect it with no. If it's an adjective and it ends in an E, then it's an E adjective. And if it's if it's not an E adjective, then it's pretty much a na adjective. There's one really weird word that sounds like an E adjective, but it's not. It's kirei. Kirei. It means pretty. It ends in an E, but it's sort of an exception to the rule. It's a na adjective. So if you want to say a pretty person, you say kirei na hito. Kirei na hito. However, in Kansai dialect, there's with any E adjective, you can conjugate E adjectives. This is the difference between na adjectives and no adjectives, or what I call noun adjectives. Is you can conjugate E adjectives. You drop the E and add kunai, for example, to say not that thing. For example, oishii, delicious. Oishikunai, dropped the E, added kunai, not delicious. Oishikunai, atsui, hot. Atsukunai, not hot. And you can make it past tense by also dropping the E and putting katta, right? So, oishii, oishikatta, was delicious. Oishii, oishikatta. Atsui, atsukunai, and atsukatta, was hot. And you can even go one step further. Atsui turns into atsukunai, which is not hot. Then you can say wasn't hot by dropping the E again and adding katta. Atsukunakatta. Atsukunakatta, was not hot. So that's one way to do it. As for verbs, this is a really great question, by the way. I wish it was an Ask a Teacher question. I'd spend like an hour answering this and giving a bunch of examples. But there are basically 3 types of verbs that we talk about. Well, 4 sort of. Any verb that ends in an iru eru sound. In other words, if it rhymes with iru or eru, there's a really high chance that it's an iru eru verb. Now, if you're learning with other books, there's ichidan and nidan and godan, and honestly, I don't know those. I never learned that system. I simply call verbs what I think they are. Regular verbs, or iru eru verbs, which are verbs that rhyme with iru and eru, and irregular verbs. So any verb that rhymes with iru eru at the end. For example, miru is an iru eru verb, and taberu rhymes with eru, so it's an iru eru verb. Anytime you have an iru eru verb, the way that you conjugate it is consistent. You drop the ru and add a stem. Well, I feel like I'm doing a lot in one session, but let's take a verb. For example, miru, drop the ru, you're left with mi. Mimas, to see. Mimashita, I saw. Mimasen, don't see. Mimasen deshita, didn't see. Mitai, want to see. Mitakunai, don't want to see. See, it's just the mi plus the stems, right? Taberu is the same way. If it's an iru eru verb, you drop the final ru. Iru eru, drop the ru. Iru eru, drop the ru. This is when I do live classes, I teach this. So taberu, tabemasu. Tabemashou. Tabemashita. See how that works? Now, if it's not an iru eru verb, if it doesn't rhyme with iru eru, for example, wakaru. This is where some books are screwy. They call them the ru verbs. Guess what? There's no such thing as a ru verb. Because wakaru and taberu are totally different verb types. But based on that logic, they're both ru verbs, but yet they conjugate different. It's if it rhymes with iru eru, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be an iru eru verb. And if it doesn't, it's going to be a regular verb. And the regular verbs don't drop the ru. They take the ru and turn it into the e form of the ru. Ru is an u form, right? You got ra, ri, ru, re, ro. Ra, hang on one second. You got ra, ri, ru, re, ro. Okay? So you got ra, ri, ru, re, ro. That first hiragana is what I call the a form. Then you've got the e form, the u form, the e form, the o form of the hiragana. And the way you conjugate a regular verb is very simple. Regular verbs in their dictionary form, which is the form that's in the dictionary, always end in this middle one. They always end in the u form. And to conjugate it, you simply take the final hiragana, change it to the e form, and add your stem. Wakaru, wakarimasu, wakarimasu, wakarimasen, wakarimashita. Let's take another one. To swim, oyogu. Oyogu is the, this is a ru, but u is the u form, right? U, oyogu, oyogi, oyogimasu, oyogimasen, oyogimashita, I swam. Do you see how amazing Japanese verbs are? I mean, really, really amazing. This is why. Now, I've had people tell me, why don't you teach verbs from the very first lesson? Number one, because the books are Japanese from zero, and I want you to do really, really good when it comes to conjugation. We don't teach you any verbs until you know all of the hiragana, for the simple fact that you can use all of the hiragana to do conjugations. Seriously. For example, let me delete this, and I'm going to write a different thing here. Give me a second. Watch this. We're going to do su. We'll do sashi suseso, okay? Sa, shi, su, se, and so. Alright? So, sashi suseso. So there's some verbs that end in su. For example, sasu. I apologize. There are a lot of bad verbs that end in su, but sasu, to stab or to point. Korosu, to kill. Okay? So let's just take those. If I want to say, I will kill, korosu, remember, it's a regular verb. You change it to the e form. Koroshimasu. Koroshimasu. Okay? Right here. Koroshimasu. Then, if you want to say, I won't kill informal, it's korosa. A form plus nai. Korosanai. I can kill is e form plus ru. Koroseru. Then, now this is a lot in one lesson, but then koroseru, what is that? That's an iru eru verb, isn't it? Koroseru rhymes with iru eru. You drop the ru and then you conjugate. Korosemasu. Korosemashita. Do you see how that works? Do you see how awesome that is? And even the last hiragana, koroso plus u, let's kill. It's informal for let's kill. Koroso. That's a lot. That's a lot of Japanese grammar in one 5-minute session. I don't expect you to remember this, but as you're learning Japanese, this is how Yes, Japan teaches it. This is how the Japanese from Zero books teach it. We teach it by showing you patterns. And that's why we don't have Godan verbs and Nidan verbs, because it doesn't make sense. I can't remember what a fifth level verb is and a 2-level verb is. It makes more sense to say regular verb, iru-eru verb, and the rest, there's 2, or what I call 3, irregular verbs. It's really simple. It's suru, kuru, and aru, because they don't follow the patterns. Normally, irregular in most books are just suru and kuru, but I add aru, and it's just too much to get into right now, but aru doesn't follow the typical pattern of conjugation, because it doesn't. We'll talk about that another time, though. So that's how you remember it. If it ends in iru-eru, it's an iru-eru verb. And if you're learning in another class and you have to learn the godan, sandan, or whatever verb, then just figure out what the equivalent of an iru-eru verb is, and the equivalent of a regular verb. So that's that. Whew. Okay, mubu. Mubu doesn't change. Watch this, V-spin. Here we go. There's no such thing as a mubu verb, by the way. That some book has probably made that up as a quasi version. There's no such thing. I'm gonna write them both. Here we go. Ready? Ma, mi, mu, me, mo, and then ba, bi, bu, be. Almost got enough room. Bo. Alright? Alright. So here we have mami mumemo and babi bubebo, or babi bubebo, okay? So let's take a verb like yomu. Yomu is the dictionary form of to read. You want to make it into a polite form? You change it to the E form and add a stem. Yomu becomes yomi, yomimasu. Yomanai. Yomeru, can read. Yomo, let's read. You see the pattern is still there. Let's take another verb that ends in bu. Hakobu, to move. Hakobu, how about I'm going to move it? Hakobimasu. I'm not going to move it, informal. Hakobanai. Command form, don't move it. Hakobanai. See, you just change that last hiragana. That's all you do. Let's move it. Hakobo, right? I can move it. Hakoberu. Sounds like Taco Bell almost. Takoberu, hakoberu. So you just see, if you know the hiragana chart, you can learn all of the conjugations extremely easy, because every row of hiragana has a conjugation that you can use. It's really, really, truly amazing. You won't learn it overnight, and there's no way I would put all of this in one lesson. This is split up over 3 courses. It's too much to do in one time. So the only thing you need to do is learn the iru-eru conjugation, which is always dropping the ru and adding the stem, and the regular, which is changing that last hiragana into something and adding something else. That's it. That's it. One more question, and then I'm out of here. Koroshimasu. I will kill you all. Next one. Well, yeah, V-spin says he was showing one of the other members the teiru form. Guess what? Teiru form is just another conjugation. It's E form plus teiru, right? Or drop the ru plus teiru if you're an iru-eru verb. So, for example, I am killing you now. Korosu, koroshi, teiru. Now, koroshi teiru is the base now, right? What kind of verb is that? It's an iru-eru. It doesn't even rhyme with an iru. It is iru-eru, right? Koroshite iru. Drop the ru and now you conjugate. Koroshite imasu. Koroshite imasen. Koroshite imashita. So you see how, even though there are more regular verbs than iru-eru verbs, there's only a small amount of iru-eru verbs. The iru-eru pattern is the most important, because every single regular verb at some point can conjugate into what is an iru-eru verb. Because the potential form, I can do something, ikeru, is, if you imagine that as its own unique verb, ikeru, to be able to go, well, now you can conjugate it. Ikemasu. Ikemasen, because you drop the ru. Iru-eru, drop the ru. When it rhymes with iru-eru, drop the ru. Yes, there are exceptions. This is the 4th type of verb. Iru-eru exception verbs. There's literally like 17 in the entire language. Kaeru, to return. That is an iru-eru exception. And what is an iru-eru exception? It means it rhymes with iru and eru at the end, but it uses the normal conjugation for regular verbs. So that would be kaerimasu. You just change it to the kaeranai, not going to return. Kaero, let's go home. But there's another verb, kaeru. It means to change. And guess what? That's an iru-eru verb. Kaemasu, I will change. Kaenaide, don't change it. Kae-o, kae Kaio, kaio, kaio. Wow, I had a brain fart. I believe it's... Let's check this out. I don't know if it goes to O or Yo. Sort of a unique thing. Give me 1 second. I can't think of it off the top. Kaio. Nope, it has to go to a Yo. Kaio. Let's change it. That's a sort of a unique thing that you have to learn. My light is dying out. I don't see any other decent questions right now. So we'll end this Ask a Teacher Live. And if you want to participate, join the S Japan Twitter, and you'll get notified. I'll see you on the next Ask a Teacher. Bye-bye.